Hello and welcome back to Boring Dad Gaming, where today we're going to be playing some more Sovereign Syndicate. So, we're playing as Teddy, still. We've got some leads that we need to follow up on this werewolf thing. So, we need to ask around a couple of places. The Pet Broker and the Centaur and the Velvet Rose. We also, at Sorry Square, we also need to go to the Apothecary. And we also need to go to Red Lantern Lane, so there's quite a bit going on. Yeah. Okay, so, well, Sorry Square's right here, so why don't we just jump into there. So, Pet Broker, Apothecary. I think that's it. Don't quote me. Find out where this guy is. But don't forget, he's a potential suspect in the murders, although it sounds like it wasn't. You never know, I guess. Because we seem to believe it's, well, Clara anyway believes that it was a woman who was the murderer.
Interest you in a snake? He would look quite dashing wrapped around that metal arm of yours. But then he'd probably get caught in the little moving bits.
We could study the ostrich. Let's do that. There we go.
Oh, that's a fine specimen of ostrich I see there. I hope you're not feeding him exclusively on seed. Dicotyledonous plants, hollyhock for example, helps with their digestion, you know. Oh, I do know, sir, I do. But for some reason, I doubt you're here to discuss the digestive habits of Struthionisforms.
Okay, I may have said that right.
No, Sir Willard, I'm trying to locate a werewolf named Sykes. I have some business to conduct with him. Oh, Sykes, yes, Sykes, of course, yes. I personally find the concept of being half animal utterly fascinating. Imagine the insight one must have into their world. The animal world, I mean, the insight into oneself. Aye, but, do you know where I can find him? Oh, I know that he was involved in a torrid affair with one of the working girls at the Velvet Rose. He mentioned it to me one night during a hand of baccarat. Lycanthropes often have a terrible time with human relationships, but then one can't very well carry on with a wolf now, can one? No, I should hope not. So you think he might be at the Velvet Rose? Not at all, I haven't the froggiest idea where he might be. That was a pun, you see, because I love amphibians. A natural example of versatility.
Okay, so he doesn't know. So what else did we have to do here? Make sure we all do it. So the... okay, so there is a centaur here as well. As well as the apothecary. And that's about it for Soris Square. Now, I think the centaur's generally hanging out at the top of the steps here, isn't he? Yves Chalamet Duval, who I'm giving an English accent to.
Hello again, Redgrave. How are things with you?
We're fine and dandy, as the people in London say. We're tracking down a man who can transmute his body into a wolf.
Oh, a little subtly. Oh, never mind. Aye, that's right. We've got his name, Sykes, but not much else. Some more intel might not go amiss. I've heard it bruited around town that you keep a close tab on police business in London.
Voiced loudly. I was once employed as an inspector with the Met, and I like to keep abreast of their major cases. Having my finger on the pulse, so to speak, is useful in my current employ.
Excellent, and perhaps you can help me.
Yes, I'm familiar with the man in question. Why is it you're after him? I can assure you he's not as guilty as Scotland Yard would have you believe.
Oh, I have a business opportunity for him. It's even the truth from a certain perspective. A man in his position could stand to make some extra dosh, I should think. Can you tell me where to find him?
I cannot. He's gone to ground, a shrewd move on his part. If Sykes can keep out of sight long enough, the real culprit will hopefully come to light.
Why are you so convinced of his innocence?
I have access to certain testimony and evidence which I am unable to divulge without the permission of my employer. But as a former police inspector with many years' experience, I assure you my opinion carries weight.
Well, I've no intention of turning him over to the Yard or any other authorities.
Since you don't have him, that doesn't seem to be of great concern.
Oh, well, thanks for your time. For now, I'll bid you good day.
You do fine, Sykes. I hope you'll consider what I've told you. Take care, Mr. Redgrave. Interesting. So, Velvet Rose. So we've done these. So we need Velvet Rose and Red Lantern Lane. That's cool. But we'll go to the apothecary before we leave this area. Gets a lot of business, this Gordon Gray, doesn't he? Was he back down in his little operating theatre?
I trust you'll keep what you've seen here in confidence. The coppers look the other way, but still, you never know.
Aye, well, I need big game tranquilizers, suitable for delivery by dart. As for the payment, put it on Molly's account.
Oh, well in that case, I have a bundle right here. Enjoy.
Oh, well, good night. Best be getting on. Nice chatting with you as always.
Of course, sir.
That was easy. Right. So, we've got two places to go. We've got the Velvet Rose and Red Lantern Lane, which is where we'll get the uniform. So I think we'll do that first. Probably makes sense just to do the little errand, a little quick errand first. I don't know where our inquiries that the Velvet Road might lead. Probably back to Red Lantern Lane. Probably not, though. So we haven't found anything we need to install in Otto, so I don't think we need to go back to our place. And was it the bathhouse? I'm assuming it's the laundry. Dolores at the laundry. There we go. Dwarf tailoring costs extra, and it'll be more again for those fancy appliances. The tiniest slip of fabric gets caught in the gears, and like as not, you'll end up standing naked in the street.
Who does it do? How do you do from Dolores? She's hard as Updales, even with her top customers.
Oh, I'm actually here to pick up something, a police uniform. I see it right there on the racks. Molly sent me. Here to pick it up, are you? Funny, we skipped the part about my payment.
We believe Molly intends to settle that herself.
I'm sorry to say that Molly's promises, second-hand no less, aren't something I can deposit at the bank.
Oh, well, isn't that the truth?
But you do me a little favour and it's yours. Go and fetch some lye from... Oh, the apothecary, I was just there! It'll be no more than a shilling. Go on, I'll press the garment for you in the meantime. Well, Teddy's got 5 quid, so I think let's just pay the 15 shillings.
We'll give you 15 shillings for the uniform.
I suppose I could manage to do that.
Alright. I'll take it.
Pleasure doing business.
We can put this on back at the workshop, and I'd better use my mirror to make sure it fits.
Okay, good. Well, yeah, I didn't fancy running all the way back to the apothecary. I mean, I guess, had I done it the other way, it would have been fine. I could have done both at the same time, but I wasn't to know that she would send me off over there. So something with the mirror. Mirror's down here, I think, isn't it? There it is.
Right, about that police uniform. Oh, fits me like a glove.
Oh, look at it. Okay, well, do we go to Velvet Rose dressed like this? I mean, we might do. I don't know. They might object to me going there. But, I guess we'll see. Alright. Beggar's Lane. I can't remember what I needed the police uniform for now. Presume I had a reason. Oh, there's a policeman over by the containment fence. Should we talk to them?
Not sure why these mutton shunners hanging around the containment zone, but I'd rather not draw their attention lest I can help it.
I need to find out where Sykes is. Been in here as Teddy? I can't remember. I lose track. Is anyone hanging out at the bar though? Lefty Browen. Talk to Lefty as Teddy, see what she's got to say.
The inimitable Lefty Brown, famous for thievery and card playing alike. Lefty?
Hey, what's your game, Rosa? Hope you're nae here for a shakedown, 'cause I'm flat broke.
Was be you tough?
Teddy Redgrave, I'm no stranger to dress up, but this is really something else. What's to be heard on the beat?
We chat about the werewolf hunt.
I'm keeping the bills paid, barely, but I got a wee bit of werewolf wrangling lined up. It'll keep me and Otto and fish and chips for a while.
I dinna need to tell you to mind yourself, eh?
Good. I prefer to do my scrapping at the tables these days, or not at all.
I am built for spade, nae pummeling.
Still, carrying that old cannon around with you, I see. Oh, still carrying that old cannon around with you, I see.
I am.
I'll stop anything short of a locomotive at full steam. Sorry, it'll stop anything short of a locomotive at full steam.
Hey, and if it misfires, you can always club them to death.
Ran into something odd on one of my jobs. Can you believe those sneaky duck hounds built a distillery? Not a small one, down in the sewers. To power it, they were filching steam from the poor tenement folk.
I'd believe anything of that lot. Don't think one of them's ever seen the inside of a church. If they did, they'd like us not catch on fire. Ha!
But didn't I hear you used to work with them?
Nay, I used to work with old Molly back in my bullfrog days, but that was before all the mechanical arms and feet and faces nonsense. No offence. Too bad they can't fix them up with some mechanical brains. That'd be an improvement for sure.
But I've heard something untoward has come to pass around here lately.
Och, that poor lassie. Didn't know what happened to London town these days.
You wouldn't know do such thing, would you?
Nay, I run with some tough company now and then, but nay alright monsters.
You certainly that. Might never know a monster till you see it do something monstrous.
Well, I knew a bloke named Pancho. What was a bit of a monster for the bobbies caught up with him. He had a steam gurney fast as a polished steel, or a can like yours.
Sounds like a right tosser.
Was with him when they caught him and gunned him down, but couldn't they catch me? I'd tell they couldn't have caught me any day, but they let me go.
Kindness, I suppose.
Oh, being lazy fools, what couldn't catch up, couldn't catch a cold if they were trying, unless the cold was a bigger, lazier fool.
Ugh, it's quite hard to read that even in Scottish.
Oh, any road, there must be something better to talk about.
Ask away.
Think I'll leave you to it, Lefty. Good to see you, though.
Aye, you too, Redgrave. Keep in line, Otto.
Don't know why she went a bit Cornish at the end there.
Oh, it's Clem, the old reliable, good bartender and a better arm wrestler.
Sorry, officer, can't serve drinks to those still on duty. Well, if it isn't everyone's favourite dwarf.
I did not know your reputation preceded you across all of London, Mr. Teddy. Oh, it's merely your saying, nothing more.
I won't ask you what made you want to become a bobby. Just know that you remain welcome in here.
Oh, to tell you the truth, I haven't sworn fatally to Scotland Yard. The uniform I'm wearing just makes my current contract a bit easier to fulfill.
On the hunt, eh? Funny how the other rat catchers get by with a net and some tongs, but just look at how you're kitted out. Guns, tools, fancy goggles. Must be some right big rats out there.
I'm a monster hunter, Clem, not a rat catcher. Although I have been known to hunt rats on the side, of course.
Oh, I see. Makes you high and mighty then. Big monster hunter, eh?
Oh, never mind, Clem. Perhaps I'll see you after my bounty's paid.
By the by, did you hear the tenements finally got their heat back? Must have been some smart engineering work that did it.
Oh, of that I have no doubt. Good day now.
Alright, up to the Velvet Rose then. So what are we here to do exactly? Just ask around, I think. Anyone here we can talk to? Well, we know B won't be. But let's we'll look around the other places. Right, there's Bonnie Lass. I think she might just be a Bonnie Lass. I don't think that's her name.
Typical dinners of the Rose. One spotted me. She looks up from the piano she was playing. She looks a mite haggard.
Hello, Constable. Name's Lou. Louise Arts. And I've got what you need, although it's going to be extra if you'd like to bring an automaton along.
Teddy, what is meant by along in this context? Oh, never you mind, Otto. No thank you, miss. Afraid that's not why we're here today.
Suit yourself, officer. I'm actually looking down for an old friend, Mr. Sykes. Is Mr. Sykes our friend? I don't remember him. Oh, you were undergoing maintenance that day. Well, Lou, what do you say?
You're not looking to set the law on him, are you?
Dressed as a policeman. Oh, that's the furthest thing from my mind, I assure you. I'm asking only as a friend.
I'm only asking because the word all over is he's wanted on suspicion of being the courtesan killer. I got no truck either way, so I don't mind telling you he's locked himself away inside the containment zone, like a good little werewolf.
Oh, thank you, Miss Arts, for the information. We'd best be getting on. Back into the fray, Otto!
Alright, so I guess maybe we talked to those 2 coppers we saw and they'll let us in. Perhaps. Now, we've not been in the werewolf containment zone before, so that's quite interesting. Wonder what we shall see. Assuming we're allowed in, we might not be. Don't really know.
What are you, officer, actually I don't seem to recognise you. Wager you're from another precinct?
Yeah, I wager you're from another precinct.
Easing upon these 2, Kipling and Ogilvy. Ingrates on their own, double a headache when they work together.
I think you've gotten yourself turned around there, Cove. We're holding this end today.
Yeah, we're holding up this end. Me and Officer Kipling have it all under control.
Is that an echo, or am I just losing my mind? Okay, let's try the analysis. Pretty easy skill check. Well, you look to be doing a fine job, but I've been asked to double check security on the inside, so if you'll kindly make a path. Success.
Oh, aye, very well. Better your neck than mine. Keep a sharp eye out, lad. These werewolf types can be dangerous in their human forms as well. Then I've also heard it rumoured that some of them turn early. Any road, make a path for the man, Ogilvy.
Oh yeah, aye, what Sergeant Kipling said then. Go ahead. Be careful.
Oh, we'll take your advice, officers. We will take your advice, officers. Well, I'm glad that's done with. What a couple of jolterheads. Going in. I'll power down at the box, okay. Right, what do we have here? A battered metal circuit box. The casing has recently been bashed in. Looks like somebody's gone and lost his temper. I think that was that Atticus in the first episode? It might have been. Engineer is left to clean up the mess. Why is the world so full of dullards? Several transformers have been damaged. This will take a gentle hand. Oh dear, this is unlikely. Boulders, shining orbs. No matter how many times I get shocked, it's still unpleasant. Well, that's done it. We can now enter the zone without being fried to a crisp. Okay, that's good. So we lost some hope, but it's all fine. Now I can slip through that gap in the boards. After going in, there's no sense in turning back. Do I have everything I need? Gun, tranquilizers, and gumption. What else could a hunter want? Let's go. No time like the present. Ooh, the Containment Zone, a secure camp where werewolves can volunteer to be segregated around the time of the full moon. The stink of the place announces itself well in advance. Those who confine themselves here must sleep on a floor of broken cobbles and choose from a filthy canvas roof, a rusty cage, or a fortified cell. The perimeter fence provides a barrier between those preparing to transform inside and the potential for a civilian massacre outside. London has been down that road many a time, and as for yourself, you've faced a werewolf one-on-one, but never a whole host of them. The possibility of an early transformation must be accounted for, and the gun across your back is only a small comfort. Luckily it's loaded and ready to fire. Hey, well, we've never been here, so let's have a little nose around. Swai the rancid vapour of oil and industrial waste, this humble fire pot is a vagabond's best friend, as close to a hearth as he or she may ever have. Now, what about going up these stairs first? That's Sykes, isn't it, in there? Red-headed, anyway.
This poor dear is having a rough go of it. She looks at me through a messy tangle of hair. Not even dark yet, judging by those tufts of hair. I'd say we're seeing an early transformation.
Let's check on her well-being.
They treating you alright in there?
They treat me like a beast, but I came to the zone of my own accord.
Do you happen to know a Mr. Sykes?
Sorry, but I haven't had the opportunity to make any friends in here.
With the daylight full failing and the moon keenly rising, I imagine she's quite preoccupied. We're not going to tease her. Wait! What was that, Otto? I will not participate in this enterprise. Is that a touch of rebellion I'm hearing? Fascinating. Nonsense, keep moving. I will not keep moving. I have ceased forward locomotion. Well, I'm the one who installed the determination engine module. I'd be a fool to complain now. Alright, well then tell me what the problem is. You are failing to consider Mr. Sykes' inherent value as an intelligent entity. I will not participate in his abduction. My automaton's empathy for a fellow sentient being has outstripped my own. Makes a dwarf consider things. I am a monster hunter, Otto, and that is my vocation, as you very well know. And Mr. Sykes is a werewolf. Because of their feral nature, werewolves have certain limitations on their rights. They are not full citizens like you and like I am. Ooh, stumbled a bit there. You are conceding that although Mr. Sykes is a sentient being, you have chosen to violate his innate human rights. You make a strong point about Mr. Sykes, and I will take it under advisement. But I can't have anyone naysaying me in the middle of a job. Why don't you head back to the workshop for now, and I'll see you later. Yes, that is a reasonable compromise.
Still, I wonder if I'm going too far with this endeavor.
Yeah, still wearing this ridiculous Bobby's outfit. There must be somewhere around here I can ditch it. One of those tents down below should do nicely. Alright, so I'm pretty sure that is Sykes. So let's have a little look around the rest of the lane and take off our uniform. Oh no, this okay, that's not really anywhere you can go. Fine. Alright, well this is probably where we get changed. Here's a convenient place to change out of my copper togs. Doing it. Back to business. A glimmer of something over here. Look here, a couple of coins laying in the dust. Let's pick them up. Just over a shilling, not bad. An empty crate marked fragile. What delicate items were inside? Whoever sat these cages didn't bother to align them. Hang on, Otto? Otto, you've left me. Maybe he's shouting. Query, why are there so many empty cages? Population is decreasing over time. That means we're winning the war, Otto.
War? Are we in a war? I had not thought of our profession in that way.
I wonder if that upgrade was such a good idea. He certainly got a louder voice now. That's definitely Sykes. I mean, there's only 2 people in here, so... Tranquilizers in the chamber. Better keep my trigger finger at the ready. Let's be empathetic. Mr. Sykes, I presume? Now, he was, did they say he was Irish? I can't remember. Yes, I'm Sykes, although I don't quite feel like myself at the moment. I'm sure you can feel that full moon approaching. Now then, allow me to get this door open.
Steady on with the padlock, I see. You'd better explain yourself.
Yeah, I'm going to tell him what Molly wants. I'm taking you to fight for Molly O'Malley. That's got to beat sitting there and waiting for the Met to get hold of you, yeah?
The Met? What in blazes are you talking about, Cove?
Does he truly not know? The Bobbies want you under suspicion of being the courtesan killer.
What slander is this? I done nothing.
Guilt or innocence makes no difference to me, I'm just doing a job. So you're moving me to another cage where I'm to fight for my life, but in some kind of blood sport instead of before a judge. I suppose the end will be quicker this way, and you and your friends will make a load of tin.
Right to the point, this chap.
Does it sit well in your stomach, you stubby little man? Drugging and kidnapping people for a few quid? That's gone Scottish now.
We'll ignore that. He'll say anything to avoid what's coming.
Beat him unconscious with your old mechanical leg. Let's shoot him.
Well, he won't hurt much anyway. Collared Sam, Mr. Sykes. What's that? Leaden steps approaching. On the platform, whoever's coming is equally large and fleet-footed. Or are you going to secure the parcel, or are you waiting to see if he transforms? Well, he's out cold. If you knew anything about monsters, you'd know he couldn't transform when he's like that. Oi, the boy, I know about you wrecking our distillery. I had a piece of that, you know.
He looks like he's ready to tear me in half.
Molly's now seeking compensation for your antics, and I've come to claim those couple of pounds.
It's a tough check. We'll pay the fine. Oh, you, sir, drive a hard bargain.
Don't get cheeky, Redgrave. Just be thankful you still have that melon of yours atop your shoulders.
The hard part's done, so if you'd kindly stop blocking the thoroughfare, I'd be much obliged.
Didn't come all the way out here to praise your handiwork. I'll be collecting Mr. Sykes and escorting him the rest of the way.
Alright.
If you're wanting to exercise that badly, I suppose we can do the delivery together. Don't worry, when we get there, you'll have a chance to collect your fee from Molly directly.
One's real life is so often the life that one does not lead. Back to Clara. Chapter 11. You're still in London, though you've been trying to make yourself useful investigating the murders. Zora seems convinced the culprit is a werewolf, and there are a few clues to support this, though the theory is a little too neat for your taste. Eves agrees, but the coppers don't. I wonder if it's the other werewolf that was in the cage, the woman. Just because it's not Sykes doesn't mean it's not a werewolf. Talking to Molly always makes my skin crawl. I've got this dratted party tonight. Tenner's telegram said he'd gotten me a special outfit. I should go to the bell jar and check with Suri to see if it's arrived. Can't forget, still need to track down that journalist, Ivana Orsini. Molly said she might be found at the bell jar. There's a couple of things I can handle in quick succession. Efficiency is key if I'm ever to catch this killer. Well, I tried this, and she wouldn't talk to me about it. Or rather, I had no option to ask her about it. I would quite like to. Maybe we'll go and try again. Alright. So, let's go to Tenter Street first of all. Hello again, dearie. Something I can help you with? There's items belonging to the courtesan killer's victims. Yes? Not right now. Alright, so, well, let me know if you change your mind. That's what she said before, so I think maybe it's a bug? So I spoke to her about the comb first, and, like, she's not interested to know about it since then. Alright. I guess we'll abandon that one then. Let's go to the bell jar. So that's off Sorris Square, isn't it? So we'll go there. Bell jar, this way, isn't it? Tessica and Calvin, we can go talk to them. Haven't seen them here before. What a delightful surprise. Tessica, Calvin, what a treat to see you both. And somewhere other than the Palladium, no less. We do spend time in other places, do we not, Calvin? I'm certain I don't know what you're insinuating, dear. Sniping at each other as always, but in good faith.
Glad as I am to catch you between bouts of chasing the Green Fairy, I must question your choice of locale. This restaurant's been shut for a long while.
Alas and alack for the best curry in London. Still, the best patio in London yet remains. All the better now that none will shoo you along for not paying. Do you remember, Ginger Cake, when the three of us first met, the idea of having a meal at this establishment was the height of luxury?
She's looking at me very intently. Certainly, I could smell the spices from my tiny room just off the square, taunting me endlessly.
Finally, we agreed to pool our resources and have a plate. Oh, what a meal that was. Bliss on my tongue! No dish has ever tasted as sweet, even now with the means to buy our own.
I recall it being spicy, not sweet. Took me back to my days with the Romany caravans. But why this sudden promenade down memory lane?
You have friends in London, Ginger Cake. We don't want you to forget it. That was pointed. They found me out for trying to skip town. Did I really think I could keep a secret from these two for long? No need to look so alarmed, Clara dear. We shall not push, though neither shall we watch in abject silence. How well they know me. Still best change the subject. No need for the morbs this early in the day.
So what about that showing with your new patron? How did it go?
Hardly the smoothest, but they'll forgive me, I hope. Oh, quite well, quite well. In fact, our partnership has garnered me an invite this evening to the party this evening at Braxton Manor.
Oh, that's lovely. I'm going as well.
Fantastic, Clara. At least I'll be able to look forward to your company, if nothing else. You know how I feel about those kinds of parties. I, for one, shall not be attending such a gaudy fete. The dress code seems an awful bore, and I did away with corsets and gowns years ago.
Indeed, might we all be blessed with your fortitude, Calvin?
Well, Ginger Cake, we shan't keep you. I'm sure you have important things to do before the party. Don't be a stranger, Clara. Oh, open book, my unguarded and convivial friend, as ever you are.
I suppose I deserve that. Farewell to you both, and Tessica, I'll see you later.
So we're here to get dressed. What was the other thing? I feel like maybe we should do this before we move on now. What did they say about Gwen Saini? I can't remember now, but we can pop into the apothecary maybe and ask Gordon about the vial. Because I don't know how else to get hold of things that people had. Unless... Oh, we could maybe ask the centaur, who's not here right now. Where's he hanging around? Well, let's talk to Gordon, because I don't have a... I don't know where Gwen Saini died. Or I don't, anyway. I think we need to speak to Eve. I'm not sure. He might be in the bell jar, or at least outside it. Anyway, let's talk to Gordon. Alright, yeah, okay. I think in a previous episode he'd actually refused to talk to us about that, didn't he? I couldn't remember if it was him or Atticus he'd given the brush off to, but I guess it was us. Okay, well I'm going to go up to the bell jar then. Hopefully we'll see Eve. It's possible that he's been placed there so that we will be able to see him before we go in. If we need to get these items off him, I'm not sure how else we would go about getting them, quite honestly. So sometimes he's... Yeah, he's not chilling out here, is he? He might be in the lobby or something, I suppose. Doesn't look like it. Ivana and Suri seem to be engaged in quite a spirited conversation.
This might be the only chance I have to ask her about the authenticity of the courtesan killer's letter published in the London Journal. My address... I can't remember her voice. My address is on the card, whether it be peculiar or mundane. Write to me about anything. I keep my sources anonymous. That is a promise. A clean flourish as she passes over her visiting card. It might be perceived as an innocuous hand gesture, meant only to invigor the conversation. I may want to sleep on it first. Sleep with the card under your pillow if it helps. Drop by the office any time you like. Oh, can I help you with anything, Clara? I didn't mean to interrupt. Perish the thought, Miss Reed. I'm sure your good concierge here agrees I've distracted her enough. I suppose there are a few telegrams that I need to transcribe. By the way, thank you for making that window for me, marking the window for me the other day. Dr. Wainwright proved highly cooperative when I cornered him. Should have seen the look on his face. I guess the interview went rather swimmingly. No need to waste more time with any pleasantries. I read your latest article on the courtesan killer case, and I've got some questions. Oh, please do tell. You did take the letter to the police, yeah? Of course I did, after publishing, given the killer's threats. Ivana fiddles awkwardly with her signet ring. Those fluid movements she displayed with Suri are nowhere to be seen. I can hardly blame her for being afraid. The police were grateful, naturally, as analysing it will help them build their case. This could be vital in catching the culprit. But why would the killer send your newspaper the letter? I can understand why the killer, being proud of his dirty work, would send the letter to the press. But you mean, why the London Journal? Well, we have a reputation for journalistic excellence. Or a reputation for scandal and glorification of violent crimes. As to why it was penned in the first place, well, it's about control. The killer controls his victims' lives, and with the letter controls how the police will chase him, as well as the narrative overall. Him? Then you must have someone pegged for it. Oh yes, and I don't mind saying so. The letter said I am a proper beast and shan't ever be caged, so I thought to myself, but of course, it's a werewolf. Oh, that's quite an assumption to make. One of my many contacts is a man named Mr. Sykes. He's a lichen, mind you, and he became rather agitated when I showed him the letter. You think he wrote it? I'm not sure, but I suspect Sykes for a number of reasons, not all of which I can share. Not until I've put together the rest of my story. One that everyone will be reading when they do arrest the fellow. Seems strange that the letter was published the night after another slaying. Particularly when the letter itself indicates a lack of excitement recently. Truthfully, I did receive the letter some time before publishing last evening. I was hesitant to publish it at all, as you might have guessed. Hang on a sec. Let's finish this conversation before I say what I think. Why publish it now, then? There was no particular reason, I'm afraid. I just decided it was worth the risk. Ivana looks uncharacteristically conflicted. If I'd known another victim would arise on the same day as the printing, I would have waited, or perhaps withheld it entirely. You have my word on that. Don't you worry that the letter could incite fear more than anything, especially after Beatrix's death? Of course she's worried, but she also knew it would result in the London Journal flying off the shelves. Well, it's a warning. The people need to be informed. But the city has been consumed with paranoia about this. Not everyone reads the news, Clara. I'm not sure I would use the word consumed. You would certainly profit if people were consumed by it. Alright, the choice to publish wasn't tasteful, I admit. But when Sykes is captured, everyone will breathe such a sigh of relief it won't matter whatever shock tactics you think I might have used. Ivana seems quite set on Sykes being the killer. Our writing reflects the way we speak. From what I've seen of his speech patterns, I'm not overly convinced that Sykes wrote the letter. The more I investigate, the more I'm certain Sykes is not involved, particularly when it comes to the letter. Why's that? She gives me a queer look. I'd better be sure about this. 75, we'll try it. Yeah. Sykes is not a good match for the cadence of the letter. The patterns and grammar are off. You said you copied down the letter exactly? What's wrong with the grammar? Well, there isn't anything wrong with it per se. After Beatrix, there's little Sykes enjoyed more at the Rose than talking about himself. I could probably pen his biography. Yes, and? Wow, it's not as if he cannot write a well-tuned sentence, but without a single misspelling, nor a comma out of place. It simply sounds different from his usual mannerisms. Perhaps if Sykes consulted an editor before. It's been staring me in the face all this time, of course.
Wham.
Someone else penned this letter. Am I correct, Ivana? Clara, please. Her shame is transparent, mortification in her otherwise steadfast manner. By the saints, how could I have missed it? It was Ivana who wrote the letter. The way she looks down and squares her feet, she's been backed into a corner like this before. Why say it aloud when you already know? Though I suppose staying tight-lipped to this juncture wouldn't be a matter of journalistic integrity, but rather cowardice. Quite. Simply know this, it wasn't my choice. I'll not deny forging the letter, but please don't think it was because I take pleasure in subterfuge. What purpose, then? An order from her superiors to boost the paper's sales? Or something more insidious than that? Then be my ally in this. I won't turn down any help. I want to help, but I'm in the same boat as you. If you really want more information on the case... Ivana looks loath to say the next part. Take a look in your employer's flat. Madame Zora. It's on Cable Street, just past the orphanage. First brownstone you hit. Ground floor. Swing by when you get the chance. I'm sure a clever lady like yourself could find a way in. I suppose that's all I'm going to learn from Ivana.
Okay, so a couple of things. First of all, the forged letter by the press. That seems... I was wondering, they seem to be going down a sort of Jack the Ripper route in terms of, the chosen style of victims, it being in the East End, the manner of the murders, not beating around the bush. And I think part of the Jack the Ripper case was that he had supposedly written letters to the press and the police. I say he, could have been a she, no one knows. But most of those were shown to be fake, and I think some of them were forged by the newspapers that printed them to try and up sales. So I think that is fairly true to what happened in the Jack the Ripper case, anyway. Secondly, is the courtesan killer Ivana? Okay, a few things. First of all, we know she forged the letter, so I guess that is suspicious, but could be explained away, true. But also, Beatrix died in the room where Ivana had access to, because we had marked the window and loosened the latch. I mean, anyone could have got in, true, but she knew it was there. 3, that hunched woman in the cage, the one who looked like her portrait had sort of mussy hair and the red eyes. And I was just thinking, the portrait shape looks kind of similar to Ivana's portrait. So I'm speculating here, but maybe Ivana is a werewolf. And if we take that supposition further, maybe she's the courtesan killer. I don't know, but we should probably go and look at Madame Zora's flat first, now that we've been given that clue. But equally, I'm not going to go off Ivana yet, because she could have also accessed Madame Zora's flat and planted evidence there. I don't get the sense it was Madame Zora, to be perfectly honest. But who knows? We're certainly being edged in that direction, Cable Street. I should say, all of that stuff I've just said, I don't know the answer. It's all my supposition and guesswork. So it's not spoilers, it's just my thought process. But let me know in the comments if you think that, if you think something else. Let me know. I'd be interested to hear any theories. Use the magic lockpick. Worked like a charm. I suppose Miss Kemmeny's lockpick lived up to its reputation. I was wondering about that magic lockpick. We hadn't used it yet. Madame Zora has more than enough capital to enjoy the niceties associated with the upper crust, yet you wouldn't know this from a glance at her flat, which is the opposite of cosy. The furnishings and fixtures of her modest 3 rooms are a cut above the average tenement, but not lavish per se. Either Zora is much humbler than one might suspect, or she likes to play chameleon with her property. The barren decor suggests a woman lacking personality, but anyone who has spoken to Zora knows the opposite is true. Zora's well-heeled status does not align with the domestic simplicity found here. There is something insincere about the wooden picture frames, and the chairs upholstered in drab and solid colours, as if she were concealing aspects of her character. Aspects that would otherwise be exposed if she'd chosen the handcrafted and one-of-a-kind pieces for her home that she certainly could have afforded. Once I've had a good look round, I shouldn't dally much longer. Tenner's waiting for me at the wharf. Alright. Well, we're going to look at everything. She's got a werewolf head on her wall. The severed and taxidermized head of a lycanthrope. It's not illegal to own such a thing, unfortunately, but it's the absolute nadir of bad taste. I've seen such grotesqueries hanging on the walls of the wealthy before. Shrunken human heads, heads of minotaurs, kitsunes, and more besides. My youngest daughter is obsessed with kitsunes. It's very, very cute. Such a large table. Does Zora have company often, or is it merely for show? Orchids are notoriously finicky plants, but this one seems to be thriving. This particular variety serves as the national flower of Bruslavia. Alright, let's do a little loop. The engraving on the frame claims this to be Slavko II. What a dour-looking fellow. Ooh. Tell you what, we'll come back to padlocked door. Zora's writing desk is practically crying out to be searched. 50%, let's try. There. Nothing here but old correspondence. I don't know the language on some of those letters, but it hardly matters. The cursive is practically illegible. We try again? No. Alright, I'll come back to that padlock door, because I wonder if that might be kind of what triggers the next whatever's going to happen. But let's look at the rest first. We've got a flask. A flask of laudanum, nearly full. Perhaps Zora uses it to sleep. Take it. Everyone can use a bit of relief now and again. Alright, let's go and look at that, because laudanum gives us blood. Blood for the blood god. Let's drink it. Let's drink the blood. Well, laudanum, but same diff, I assume. Let's have a look at our... that's not right. I want to look at our personality stuff. So Grace we're doing really well on. In fact, we're almost up to 22 on that. I would actually say Clara's doing pretty well on everything. She's had a lot of dialogue, so it kind of makes sense. Even the intuition we're getting up on as well. That's pretty good. We're still failing checks, but, you know. The view is not particularly scenic, though it can hardly be helped with a sprawling orphanage across the way, monopolising most of it. Still, Zora's done quite well for herself. Fleur de Bulgari. The same perfume used by Queen Victoria, if you believe the adverts. A touch ostentatious, I have to admit. Yeah, see, we get the... I don't think the check's that hard, actually. Oh, I still managed to whiff it. One might think a queen would choose something that smells less like a cup of Earl Grey. To each their own, I suppose. We'll take it, and then we can use the perfumes, can't we? 10 plus 10 black bite. That's the whole level of that. Yeah. It feels wrong to be wearing Zora's distinctive scent, but I can't argue it smells lovely. Nice. So we went up to, what, 15 on Inslate? That was pretty cool. Crisp, clean linens, not a wrinkle in sight. It seems Zora is as exacting in her private life as she is at the Rose. Alright, there's a couple of bits over here as well. Tableware. The details in these plates are quite precise. No wonder they're on display. Ruins at dusk. Such artwork does line up with Zora being the pensive sort. Got a telegram, could be incriminating. Here lies a telegram addressed to Madame Zora. To the distinguished Miss Zora Levitch. Lord Silas Braxton Bragg requests the pleasure of your company at an evening party, 7:30 on October the 31st. Aperitif and digestifs to be served. An unrolling of an acquisition from Thebes will entertain guests at 9:30, followed by a captivating and revelatory demonstration by Lord Braxton regarding his latest discoveries in the field of medical research. We unite in the name of progress and innovation. With kind regards, the estate of Lord Braxton. Zora would most certainly wish to attend such an exclusive party. No wonder she isn't home. She must have already left for Braxton Manor. I should meet with Tenor when I'm done here and make my way to Braxton Manor as well. Let's have a quick look at the bookshelf. It appears Zora has an interest in penny dreadfuls. Okay. Nothing, well, apart from the writing desk, which may have contained suspicious elements, but let's have a look at the padlock door. This door is more heavily constructed than the rest of the house, and it's padlocked shut. I suppose there are perfectly innocent reasons one might need a padlocked door, though I must say they escape me right now. Whatever I do here, I'd best be careful. I don't want Madame Zora knowing there was someone snooping about the place. We could start off by examining the door. There we go. There is a slight draught coming from beneath the thick door that would suggest a window or alternative entrance. Turning the padlock over, there seems to be tiny shapes etched into the metal. Well, let's use the enchanted lockpick. Seems to be a perfect fit. I can hear the driver pins slide into alignment. Yes, that did the trick. Now, what has we got in here? Okay, now I am going to say, related to what I said a minute ago, I don't think Ivana could have planted all of this. Saints above, what a decidedly awful sight. No doubt about it. A prison cell of some kind. The floor has been gouged repeatedly here by someone or something. Very strong and highly motivated. A lumpy flophouse mattress, which has certainly seen better days. Are those saliva stains? Drool, or perhaps it's been chewed. No need to get any closer to that thing. I've got exactly as many fleas as I need. A set of chains and manacles are bolted to the wall. These aren't remnants of times gone by. There's little rust and the cuffs are shiny with recent use. A salve made specifically for werewolves to ease the unbearable itching and other symptoms of transformation they suffer around the time of the full moon. The chemist will only provide this with a physician's note. Check the label. Yay! The label's smeared with salve, but the patient's name is still barely visible. Ivana Orsini. The jar has been almost used up. What? Ivana? Okay. Ivana is a werewolf. But what is her connection to Madame Zora? Yeah, exactly. Oh, wheels within wheels. A barred window looking out onto the street. The bars are on the inside of the glass. This room is nobody's idea of a private getaway, but I'm sure it's more comfortable than a cell block at the tower. Perhaps this is where Ivana spends the full moon, waiting out her transformation where she can't harm anyone. I didn't mean to do that. What does it say now about courtesan killer? Huh. Okay, well... Okay, so well I'm glad it was very quick confirmation to learn that Ivana was the werewolf. She may also be the werewolf that we saw in the containment zone with Teddy near the beginning of this episode. Right, well I'm going to go... it's probably getting towards the time I would close out the episode, but I think the chapter might end when we go to the wharf in our costumes, so we'll do that. What am I doing? I need to go to Soris Square, don't I? Belljar. I mean, Ivana... The thing is, Ivana wouldn't have sent us there if she was the killer. That'd be incredibly dumb, wouldn't it? Like, oh, okay, well... This'll throw some suspicion on Madame Zora. She looks after me when I'm a werewolf. I mean, we would have had no clue they were linked if it wasn't for her doing that, would we? So, yeah, interesting. But it didn't throw doubt onto Madame Zora particularly. Oh, by the by, a package just arrived for you. I've got it right here if you'd like to collect. A package from home. It's from your friend Tenor Cunningham, it seems. Well, that'll be the dress for this evening's soiree. Oh, thank you, Suri. I can take the package now if you'd like. Not a problem, Miss Reed. I do hope Tenor's picked something reasonable. Whatever it is, I can head up to my room and put it on the dressing table when I'm so inclined. Tenor will be waiting for me at the wharf, and we'll take the ferry to Braxton Manor from there. Is there anything else I can help you with? No, I'm good for now, thank you, Suri. Alright. I'm assuming at some point we'll learn more about the Ivana-Miss Zora connection. Nothing else is different here, I don't think. Right, let's do the dressing table thing then. Now then, about that dress Suri handed me. Shall I put it on? Yeah, let's get it over with. Well, that's not what I would have chosen, but at least it fits. Right, so I guess we go to the wharf. We'll fast travel once we're out of here. Okay, where did he say he would... Oh, Green Street. I've seen him here before. I can't remember his voice. I think he was Irish as well. It'll take more than a pretty dress to convince me to smuggle you to Canada free of charge. Green Street, how delightful to see you again. How you been keeping? Not entirely well, to be honest. He never did have a skilled poker face. Seems he's aware of that shortcoming at least. How did our previously discussed transaction? Are you any nearer to closing? He regrets asking for double rate yesterday. Oh, that honestly had gone right out of my head. But I'll circle back around when I've any news. Ta. Alright then. There are others I might find passage with, should I still wish to make the journey when all's said and done. And should Eve's enigmatic employers see fit to let me go. Now the question is where the ferry goes from where it's... Well, it's probably over here where we know that boat is. Or you would imagine. Oh, what Teddy's doing here all of a sudden. Is it this? Because it doesn't look much like a ferry, does it? Maybe it's on the other side. Oh, there he is. Hang on a minute. Oh no, that's not Felipe.
There she is, my lady of the evening, the Spitfire detective, Clara Reed in full regalia.
Detective?
Why, that's right. I've heard from my sources that you've been running here, there, and everywhere today, trying to topple the perpetrator of a ghastly set of murders, they say.
By his sources, he must mean Iron Bear. Likely he saw me as I was bustling about Sorris Square today. Your sources were correct. I've been tapped to assist in the case of the courtesan killer.
The Count of Corsi, you mean? Surely you've seen the papers. A letter from the old Sam Hill himself.
The letter was a fake. I wouldn't trust everything you read, Tenor.
How do you mean?
A little bird at the paper informed me that a retraction might be imminent. The letter mightn't be the most authentic piece of journalism.
A forgery then. By gum, Clara. That's my dashing Miss Reed for you. Already rooting up falsehoods. Getting to the meat of things.
I'll say this for Tenor. He's never considered me incapable.
Shall I tell the boatman we're all set? Afraid it'll be a bit of a trip up the river from here and we won't be back to London till late. You ready to shove off, Spitfire?
I'm ready. Let's head out. Ready as I'll ever be. Better just get on with it. By the way, where's Iron Bear? Is he not joining us tonight?
Right here. Sorry for being tardy.
Not a problem, my friend. You made it just in time.
Glad to hear it.
Might I say, Miss Reed, I really picked a winner with that dress. I love all the frills and bits.
Yeah, Tenor, it's delightful. You have wonderful taste.
Yeah, don't flatter me too much, my dear. I'll get big-headed.
The river we're taking to reach the manor used to be called the Isis. In some parts, it is still known by that name.
Is that so? Well, let's head to it. Maybe there's a casino on the boat.
A man who does not think for himself does not think at all. Chapter 12. Otto! Interesting. Hello. You decided to part ways with your friend and creator, Teddy Redgrave. over his recent contract to abduct a werewolf named Sykes. You owe this and many other new experiences to the Determination Core. Ever since it was installed, you've had access to complex decisions, and your mind has been flooded with questions. But we'll leave it here for now. Interesting, we've not played as Otto before. Looking forward to that. If you did enjoy this episode, as I hope you did, if you could hit the thumbs up button, that'd be fantastic, as well as leave me a comment. I mean, particularly if you have any theories as to the courtesan killer, what's going on there. Because, yeah, I mean, my guess turned out to be immediately kind of correct in that Ivana was a werewolf. Still don't know about the connection between her and Madame Zora, so if you have any thoughts on that, let me know. And also, if you're watching this and haven't already subscribed to the channel, it'd be amazing if you could do that too. So, thanks very much, and I hope to see you next time. Bye for now.